Hey, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be continuing our series on my favorite brand of all time within the watch community at this current moment, and that is looking at the MB&F Max Boozer and Friends watches that they've produced over their lifespan of the company. So we've done the horological, we're kind of within the horological machine line right now. If you don't know, there's two lines that kind of run within Max Boozer and Friends. There's the horological machines and the legacy machines. We're focused on the horological machines right now. We've done horological machine number 1 and 2. If you haven't checked out those videos, I will put a link in the description to it. We also have a playlist where you can see all of the videos that we've done on the MB&F watches. So today we're going to be discussing the horological machine number 3. As you know, or if you're new to the channel, I'm a huge fan of Max Boozer and Friends. It's easily my favorite brand of all time right now. I love, one, the story behind it, two, the types of designs that they come out with. They really do have some really crazy ideas that they bring to life, and I think that's just a testament to how creative Max Boozer is. So today, as I said, we're going to be doing the horological machine number 3. Yeah, so if you haven't already and you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that like button. I say it every video, but I really would appreciate if you hit that. It does help us out with the YouTube algorithm, pushes our videos to more viewers, blah, blah, blah. Helps us grow the channel, which really does obviously help Life on the Wrist out a lot. So be sure to do that. So back to the watch. The horological machine number 3 was launched in 2009. The inspiration that Max kind of took for this piece was the spaceships of his childhood. You can really see how that would be the inspiration. Just based off of the design. One of the biggest parts about Max Boozer and Friends is that he works with people who are basically masters within their craft, and wants to make sure that they get credit for the work that they have done. So in that, within that kind of positive light, Max worked with Jean-Marc Wiederrecht and Giroud to bring this design to life. There are two versions of the horological machine number 3. There's the Starcruiser and the Sidewinder. The Starcruiser, the cones of the watch are in line with the arm, and on the Sidewinder they are perpendicular to the arm. I'll make sure to put up some pictures to distinguish between the two. But basically, if you look, those two cones kind of remind you of the places where the people will sit, and then if you look at the underside, you'll see these barrels, which are basically like the boosters, the engine thrusters, which is really cool design. So there's a couple case metals that it comes in. There's 18 karat white gold and titanium, and then there's 18 karat red gold and titanium. I personally would like prefer the white gold. That's just my taste, but obviously two versions are really cool. And onto the functions, because I know MB&F pieces can be kind of complicated when you look at them and try to identify what they're actually trying to tell you. So on one of the cones there is an hours and day and night indicator, and on the other day night on one of the cones, and on the second cone is the minutes tracker. So if you can picture that, I'll make sure to put up a close-up so you can see those cones. So that's how you tell the time, as well as the day and night indication. And then around the movement, which is kind of the other piece of the kind of next to the cones, you'll see a date indicator, which is around the movement. If you flip it over, just like many of the pieces that have, or all the pieces that we've discussed so far, you'll find that iconic battle axe winding rotor that spins. Actually, excuse me, I don't know why I said you're going to turn it over. The battle axe is actually on the dial side of the watch, if you want to call it a dial. If you shake the watch, you can see it spin, and it's just a really cool thing to see, especially on the dial side, which you don't often see. You don't see, there's not many rotors that are on the dial side of the watches. Actually, I can't think of any off the top of my head that have that. So one of the biggest challenges with this watch was the fact that on the dial side, that is where you're going to find the rotor and the regulating system for the watch. So they actually had to put in 2 ceramic bearings on the back of the watch, which, like I said previously, were like the engine thrusters. But it's funny how you have this inspiration of a spaceship, and just mechanically speaking, putting this piece together, it actually ended up bringing that image to life, even though you had to put those bearings in order to have the rotor and regulating system on the dial side of the watch. So it's kind of funny how that almost was meant to be in some way. So it's a very, very cool piece. It definitely stands out on your wrist, which is something I really like. So just to sum that up, I think that's a good description of this watch. It's a very, very cool looking watch. And just onto my thoughts, I think this is again one of the pieces that I absolutely fell in love with MB&F. I think the finishing on MB&F pieces is absolutely top notch. First, if you look at the case, the case is extremely industrial, but I think that's finished very, very elegantly. And if you look at the movement and the rotor, it's just impeccably done. And I think that's a testament to the people who Max worked with during the time that he was bringing this piece to life. This watch has also brought about so many collaborations and variations, which really was, in my opinion, a jumping off point for MB&F. There's one that looks like an owl. The HM Frog came about from this piece. Similar design aspects. They've had a lot that have gone gone at auction for charity. So this was really a jumping off point for Max Büsser and friends to do collaborations and variations on this watch. I think it's because people were so attracted to it. I personally would definitely wear this watch. I think it's my kind of collecting philosophy is that I want to wear something that's a little bit different than someone else next to me. I don't want someone to look at my wrist and say, hey, oh, that's another person with this watch. I'd rather have something that's a little bit different, not something you see every day. And I think the HM3 is exactly that. You will not see a watch that looks like a frog with these two cones and the spinning rotor on the top of the dial. You're not going to find someone who has that type of watch on the wrist, which I think again is something why I like MB&F so much, is that they are so different. You're not going to see someone very often, unless you go to an MB&F meetup, but you're not going to see someone very often wearing an MB&F piece. So that would be cool. I actually prefer the HM Frog, but that's just based off the evolution of the watches, but we'll talk about that in another video for sure. Yeah, so I think the HM3 is another amazing piece that I think I remember watching a video where Max talked about it and kind of spoke about how it was one of the pieces that really sold very quickly, which makes total sense. I think as Max does with his work at MB&F, I want to make sure that Jean-Marc Wiederrecht and Eric Giroud really did an amazing job with bringing such a crazy idea from Max alive, because it's not a very easy thing to do. I don't know if you've ever been presented with a challenge, well, not even a challenge, with an idea that you would like to move forward, but you don't really know how to go by that. That takes really meticulous watchmaking, really meticulous just problem solving, and you have to be a specific type of person to want to do that and to engage in that type of work, especially because in watchmaking, everything's very traditional. You do it in a specific way. I don't want to say it's procedural, but there are guidelines that you should follow. But with MB&F pieces, especially the HM3, you kind of have to throw that away and say, okay, how would I make this come to life? So for sure a cool piece, and would love to wear one on my wrist for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this video where I just discussed the HM3. I'll be sure to put up a bunch of pictures so you can see the types of variations of this watch. I really enjoy kind of discussing MB&F pieces, especially because it is my favorite brand, so I'll be sure to continue this series. It's a little bit slow recently, but I'll be sure to kind of speed it up a little bit, because you never know what will come out very soon from him. So, and I'm sure Max has got some crazy ideas that are coming to life very soon. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. I did say it in the beginning of the video, but be sure to hit it if you haven't already. And if you like videos about watches, go check out our channel and subscribe to us. Really would help us out. Literally any topic you can think of, we try to be as broad as possible. That way we're covering what you may be interested in. If you want to see a video from us, we put it in the comments, and we would obviously make them if we have the knowledge or can attain the knowledge for it. That'd be really great. Let me know what you think about the HM3 in the comment section below. Which do you prefer it over the HM1, HM2? What's your favorite out of the three? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.